Hi, it's Ant from Refugee Roots, and this is our Art at Home session. It's actually our 12th week of Art at Home, so I hope the art packs have been useful. Anything we've sent you, you've been able to work with, and it's been keeping you busy, and it's been fun to be creative, I hope, for everyone. You can engage and talk to us and share what you've made on the WhatsApp, on the Zoom call, text in pictures, or follow along on this video. So today we're doing our Easter egg decoration. You should have the instruction sheet. What you'll need is the coloured papers from last week when we made some patterns on them. It was really good for sticking and gluing. Wool. So this is thicker than the thread that we have used before in the pack. It's called wool or yarn, so it's the thick one. Ribbon. It might be different colours. There's lots of different colours in the packs I sent out, so they might be different to this, but that's okay. You'll need your plastic needle, which is yellow. These two pieces of card that look like Easter eggs. Stuffing, which I'll show you what we're going to do with. Glue stick, pencil, scissors. Okay, are we sorted? Let's have a look. Okay, so what we'll do first, just move all these bits out the way, is use our patterned papers, and we're going to cut circles out of them. And now a good way to cut circles is to take the lid off the glue and use that as a little template, and that will be really helpful. And then draw around with our pencil. So I'm only going to do a few, but you'll have a bit more time, and you'll be able to cover the whole page in this template, this kind of marking of where you're going to cut them out. So we're going to cut them out to use on our Easter egg decoration. And I hope it will be something that you keep, that you can put up to decorate for Easter. Okay, so you might not be able to see, but I've got lots of pencil circles, and I'm going to cut them out. And we'll have some nice circles with a bit of the pattern design on. And this is why last week when we were making the patterns on our pieces of paper, I said it didn't matter about being too neat or it being perfect, because actually we're using small little parts, little sections of the paper. And when we take little bits of the whole thing, it can look really nice. So I've only got a few, but if you've got loads, that's great. You can fill your whole Easter egg. It's really up to you. You could save a bit of this paper and use it for making Easter cards. There's really a lot of things you can do we've got quite a lot of materials here for this decoration. Okay, so once you've got a few circles that you're happy with, what we're going to do is we're going to take our egg-shaped pieces of card. These are the brown ones. We're going to start sticking them on. Now you might notice a slightly darker side, darker brown, that's the outside. But really it doesn't matter which way round they go. You can do it the other way round. But I don't know if you can see, we'll use a slightly darker brown as the outside of the egg, because we're going to sandwich them together with the stuffing in the middle. So what you want is your darker sides up, your glue stick, and you're going to glue on the circles. You can do it in a pattern, so you can have designs looking the same on both sides. You can do it randomly. I'm going to do it just quite randomly. Stick them on. Wherever you feel is wherever you feel works. You can place them on and move them around as you like. So you can think about where you want them, as much or as little as you want to. I'm being quite spontaneous and just dabbing them on, which is a bit risky, could look good, could not, but with art it's good to take risks because it's just for fun. These decorations are just for you. They're for you to keep, for you to put up if you want to. Keep gluing away. Oh, I've actually got quite a few. Like I said, you can do more of these, fill the whole thing, overlap them. You can do less, make it quite minimal. Careful where you're gluing as well. So I'm just gluing on the desk, which will leave it quite gluey, but you can use your any paper, spare paper, or the instruction sheet to rest on. And one more. There we go. So now, step 2. We're going to grab our plastic needle and thread the wool onto it. Should be quite simple. I'll do it again on the camera. It's got quite a big eye there, so you should be able to get the wool through. And there's quite a lot of wool. We might need it or we might not. Put a knot at the end of the wool. So on one end you've got the needle, another end, maybe just double knot it, so 2 knots. And then this is probably the trickiest bit. We're gonna make a sandwich. So we're gonna have one piece of card, the stuffing, and then another piece of card. And we're going to try and keep the stuffing in the centre. So give it a squeeze with your hand, pop it in the middle, sandwich this on top. line it up so the egg shapes, you have a kind of more oval shape at the top and a rounder shape at the bottom. And now we're going to use a needle to sew around the holes in the edges. So just pop it through so you've lined up the holes, thread it through. There we go, don't worry about the knot at the moment. And then stitch it round. Now you can do a number of stitches here. You can go loop over and do an over stitch. You can do the next one along, which would be a running stitch, I think. Or you could do the one before it, so you're doing a back stitch. Just give them a try. If you don't like it, undo it and try another stitch. I'll try doing once you start, it's a bit tricky to start with because the stuffing is moving around a bit, so you have to keep quite a good hold on it. And now, as you can see, if I continue, I'll keep going with stitches on the outside, but actually I might do a back stitch, so I've kind of double stitched. Just to see how that looks, if that looks better. Okay, this might take a little while. This is probably the longest part of the workshop, so just take your time with it. Keep going all the way round. I've actually got a couple of different patterns going on. That's okay. All my practice of stitching and embroidery with the women's group and with Jill, and I still haven't been able to figure out all of the different types of stitches. It happens. Keep going. That's it. So on one side I've got this alternate stitch, so where it misses one and gets the next one. And then this side I've got the running stitch all the way around. Some of the holes have still got the little bits of cardboard in, so just press your needle through them. There we go.
So Easter is Sunday the 4th of April this year. It changes every year, so it's coming up. I wonder if you're doing anything for it, if you have a church service that's online, if you celebrate, if you eat Easter eggs, if you give Easter eggs, Easter cards, Easter blessings, if you'll get to see anyone outside as you can now, one person who's not in your household. Do you do any baking for Easter? I'm sure there's lots of traditional cakes and biscuits that get made at Easter time, and everyone's family and culture will be different. So my family is Italian, and I remember when I was little, my nonna making kind of Easter bread, and she would put a egg in its shell and wrap it with the dough, and it would cook. Must have been a kind of local Italian traditional bread. Yeah, there's often lots of specific foods and ways of celebrating that we can think about at this time. So I've got into the flow of it a little bit. I would like to kind of finish it up just so I can show you how we tie it off and put the ribbon on. And that's the last part. So going. Oh, this is giving my hand and arms a workout. This hand is getting a bit tired now, and this hand has done a lot of stitching. It's actually quite nice to stitch through paper. I don't think I've ever done it before. Only fabric. I'm sure there's lots of things you can do. With stitching on paper and cardboard. Ooh, so feel free to pause it and have a break if you're getting tired. is one where, oh, have I done it wrong now? This is the one where I don't have a, here's the one I made earlier. Yes. Okay. It's actually looking really nice with the colourful border of the stitching around it. Oh, what have I done? Done something wrong. Yeah, that's it. Wool is quite forgiving to stitch with, it's quite thick. It's quite nice to use. I will be using it in the next art pack, more wool that I'll send out, not this little bit, we'll have more. And see what else we can do with it through stitching and weavings. It's quite good if people have found the watercolours a bit difficult, or the drawing parts. Some bits have been really challenging and been definitely not just beginner level art making, so it's been really good to see your pieces of art. Okay, so almost at the end. Oof, there we go. Oh, and the pattern matches up, that's great. So on one side we've got the stitches all the way round. And the other side, oh, we've got stitches every other one. Okay. So the long piece that you've got that with your needle on that you've just finished stitching with, can you see? I'm going to cut off when I find my scissors. So we'll cut that, leave a bit of length, so you can use the rest for any of your other projects. And then so you've got two ends, the part with your knot before and the other part, and we're just going to tie them together with a little, two little knots, little double knot, just so it's secure and it definitely won't come open. And then we can trim these. Don't trim them too far down because they might undo, but quite near the top, so they can go into the stitching, not look too obvious. And then our last bit is the ribbon. Now you might be able to thread the ribbon through. It's going to go through this big hole. You might be able to just fold it in half and push it through. If not, fold it in half, push it through the eye of the needle, use the needle to sew it through, take it off, even out the lengths so they're the same, and just do a knot at the end so that the ends are tied together, and you can hang it up. Wow, and the stuffing is secure inside there. That's your Easter egg decoration. It can go on the window, on a tree or a plant that you've got, just hanging in the house to celebrate Easter. There you go, have a try, and I can't wait to see your designs and your stitches on your egg. There we go, happy Easter.